Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on the part of the globe you are watching us from. You are welcome again to another edition of Beyond the Classroom. I am Adeleke. This morning, I have a guest with me, a professional in our own right, a friend, a colleague, that we are going to have this program together today. As a reminder, Beyond the Classroom is a channel devoted to learning those things that are not usually learned in the classroom. For graduates, for students, for prospective graduates, for working class youths, this channel is for you. And I hope our discussion today will beam some light on some questions in our mind and some issues that are confronting us or that will confront us in the near future. So back to my guest again. She is Dr. Adedayo, a medical specialist in the area of ear, nose, and throat. She's here to provide some answers to some questions I will raise. So let me ask her to greet us, our viewers. Over to you, Dr. Dan.
Thank you so much. Hello, viewers at home. Well, just like he said earlier, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you are watching from. I hope you'll be carried along and pick one or two things from our discussions today. So thank you for having me, sir.
All right. Thank you. Dr. Dan,
Yeah.
you have gone through school.
Okay.
Of course, if you hadn't gone through school, you would not be where you are today. No, I want to ask this. Do you think, this channel is themed Beyond the Classroom.
Yeah.
Do you think classroom training is sufficient for today's challenges? Let's start from there.
Well, when we look at the way the society is structured today, I think when we're talking about the classroom is talking majorly about a formal kind of learning experience.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And we know that learning itself is all-encompassing. It's not limited to the classroom alone. I have come to realize over the years that there's a difference between an educated person and a learned person. Most people who are learned are educated. Unfortunately, it's not every person who is educated who is learned, but most learned people are educated. So when we talk about education being sufficient today, a formal kind of education may not be sufficient. But when it is combined with learning in terms of social interaction, personal development, exposure, interaction across board, then that education becomes a learning experience that prepares you for just not what you get within the classroom, but also something that will prepare that individual for the future. So I would say learning shouldn't be limited to just the classroom alone, but the classroom exposes you to what you can benefit outside the classroom.
A very good response there. Some things I picked from her is that learning is actually different from education. Education is not equal to skill in a way, meaning that you need to do some other things, develop yourself, acquire skills to be able to be relevant beyond the classroom. Staying alone with the classroom training, with the formal training from the classroom, may not actually make you relevant outside there.
Yeah.
But being able to distinguish yourself by learning beyond the classroom, beyond the curriculum, beyond the course outlines, beyond that degree that you're here for. is actually what makes you truly learned, not just educated.
Okay.
So thank you for that good response. And it's a very wonderful thing you have brought out there. Now, what's the area of, still on that, what is the place of skill? You know, you go to school, you follow some regimented school curriculum, like that. What's the place of skill, personal skill acquisition in being relevant outside?
To answer that question, I think I'm going to approach it from different angles. When we talk about skill, you know, for example, when you're in a classroom, you talk about communication skill. You talk about administrative skill. You talk about hand skills, or let me say crafts. Yes, we talk about crafts. That is skill in different dimensions, and it is acquired via various means. I know somebody who is very good with leading the class. You know, usually in the classroom, you talk about your class rep, course rep, and you find out that some people at that level, their administrative skills begins to show up. Some people are good at bringing people together because they communicate very well. They can convince you to come to class even when you don't want to. They can convince their lecturers to be there to give a lecture even when they don't feel like, you know. So their communication skill helps them. They can sell you water when you are living in the river.
They can.
They can, because they've been able to harness some of that. But you find some people, they don't talk too much. They don't mix too much. But when you give them anything, they change it into something beautiful. Give them scraps of metal, they fabricate something out of it. Give them scraps of wood, it becomes an artwork. Give them pieces of paper, you find beautiful paintings all around. That's craft and that's skill. So skill is in different aspects. However, even skill has to be polished and harnessed to be able to be sellable. You can't have a skill and it is not marketable because it has not been refined. It has not been harnessed. It has not been polished to suit the demand that is required of that particular skill. You know, so I would say that the place of education and skill, they go hand in hand. Finding the right avenue to polish that skill, harness it so that it is marketable is sometimes what schooling should do. You know, when you get somebody and you say, I want to school this person in this particular area, what you're just saying is that you want to refine what that person has. You want to harness it, you want to polish it and tailor it in a particular direction because he or she already has skills that can be marketable.
A good one. Skill. I always say this. Skill is what nobody can take away from you.
Yeah.
Your formal certificate can be taken away from you. It can be stolen. It can be burnt. It can become irrelevant. But the skill that you acquire over time stays with you for life. And that's actually what distinguishes you from somebody that has no skill, but that just has mere education. Very, very important. There's no way we can actually make it without acquiring special things. And some of these things cannot be taught in the classroom. You mentioned about persuasion. Somebody that can sell water, somebody living close to the sea, or still living inside water.
The person is living in water and you still persuade you to buy water.
It's not something what to be teaching in class. No. That's what about the personal development. Okay. You discover you have this particular skill, you must make it marketable yourself. Nobody will do it. No. You must be marketable, must be presentable, you must make it sellable for you to actually, because whatever service you actually render is aimed at getting back maybe emolument, getting money, getting profit from it. Everything is supposed to be for trade, and trade is supposed to bring profit to you. Now, you have talked about skill, because skill is like indispensable if you must be relevant.
Yes.
Now, you've often heard of school na scam. School na scam. How do you not blame this? Skill is very important. Once I can acquire skill, why I can make it? Yes. There are people today who didn't go to school, but they are shaking things today.
Okay.
It's true. It's school truly scam. But then.
Okay, well, I don't know, but for me, let me use myself as an example. Okay, so for me, let me start from 2 generations before me. My grandmother was not educated. She was, your local seamstress. She just did 1 or 2 things. And at her level, that was it. My mom went further. My mom went to school. She became a teacher. She acquired some form of education that allowed her, to be more exposed. I found out that at the age where my grandmother was no longer relevant, my mom was still relevant because she went to school. Fast forward to little me. I went even further than my mom did, Of course, medical school teaches you a variety of things. Post-medical school, I specialized and all that. At the age where my mom was still being relevant, I was still relevant, but with the added advantage of being able to diversify. So, relevance and diversification is needed today. At the point where people keep being relevant, a lot of people are at that level now. What comes in now is the ability to diversify. You can't get that if you don't have an education. Because at some point you find out that your certificate, your first degree, your second degree just becomes a platform for which you can launch into other things. And if you don't have that power of exchange, you may not be able, if you try something and that thing is not working, you can diversify because you have something that gives you flexibility. So when you say school na scam, it depends on what you want from life and what you are willing to give back. Are you just thinking in terms of monetary gain? A lot of people now are talking about monetary gain or employment. But if you find a lot of these big people that a lot of our youths are quoting, they weren't in a government employment. They produced and gave something that were employing people. So are you thinking of just getting a job, or you are thinking of making an impact and being relevant?
True talk.
So if you're talking of relevance and making an impact, 1, you must have an education. 2, you must be relevant. 3, you must be able to diversify. You can't sit in your room and say you want to be relevant when you don't even know the areas where your relevance is needed. Sorry, I know this is supposed to be an international, talk, but in my language, they'll say, if you haven't been to someone else's farm, you think your father's farm is the biggest, because that is where your scope, your horizon is limited to. But when you move out,
you see that your father's farm,
you find out that your father's farm is maybe like the backyard
or
somebody else's farm. But when you go out, you mix, you interact with other people, you find out that your skills that you feel so good about is just a part of what somebody else has. And you pick from this person, you find out that, okay, that skill, I can modify it, you get that from having an education. Some people won't talk to you if they believe that you are not at the same level. You'll be restricted in how much relevance you can actually give back to the society. And so I don't think school is a scam, actually.
Truly. Very incisive, very thoughtful. School, our youth listening to us, our parents listening to us, our teens listening to us. School has never been a scam, and school will never be a scam.
Yeah.
No matter what is happening with the educational system in Nigeria or anywhere around the world, school is never a scam.
Then, sorry, sir. Just to add to that, I found out that I'm getting a lot of graduates who are going into a lot of apprenticeship, handwork, craft works, and all that. Now, I got two sets of different people. There was a lady who didn't really have so much of a formal education, but she sews well. She makes clothes. She's a fashion designer. And then I got somebody else who has a master's and also sews. This person, she sews well, but her packaging is not so. This other person is educated. She has a formal education. She has a master's. When she sews, the finishing touches that they give to their work is different. And then the packaging this person gives to it is different. One. Two, their ability to market themselves is also different. Despite the fact that it appears they are doing the same work, but the quality of their work is different, and it shows. When she talks to you, she'll tell you, oh, for your body shape, this is what I think will fit. And then she goes online and she says, oh, okay, I can do this for you. Do you want this style? Do you want that style? And then when she's done, she says, okay, wear your dress, sit down, because I'm going to give it up to my followers. So her finishing, her packaging, her market strategy is different, because she has a formal education and she knows that, okay, I need to market what I have acquired as a skill, and I need to fine-tune it to be able to catch the attention of my clientele. And it makes a difference. Education makes a difference even in the handwork that is done.
It does.
So clearly, I really don't think education is a scam.
It does, truly. There are people today who are becoming irrelevant because, quote unquote, they blew without proper education.
Yeah.
And when they stopped shining, there was no way they could go again. Because they didn't have a launch pad. Yes. Education seems to be a launch pad, like a pedestal. Yes. Any other thing you want to do stems from it. But
you can build on it.
Anything you can build on it. The education is very, very solid. Now, Dr. Dami, nice one on that. Now, how do you want to... Now, do you think there's this craze today among our youths trying to make it big, quick, without going through what you went through? And that's from our parents too. Some of our immature parents tend to have, what I went through, I don't want my child to go through it. The stress I went through, the struggles I do, I don't want my child to go through it. Do you think hard work still pays today?
Okay, well, I'm not going to give that a yes or no answer.
Of course, you're not expected to.
I'm not going to say, oh yes, hard work pays. Oh no, hard work doesn't pay. What I'm going to say is that in building anything, nobody builds from the roof. You can't build something from the roof. You have to build it from not even the ground.
From under.
You build from under. Because whatever that house is going to carry must be seated on something that is firm, is broad, is sturdy, and can weather any storm. So when you say make it quick, get it fast, there is always the place of building gradually and waiting, because that period itself helps you to appreciate what the end product is going to be. If you get something very fast, you don't appreciate the process that goes into getting what you have gotten.
Sure.
For example, there was a time, I do a little bit of subsistence farming.
Yes, I know.
So in my spare time, sometimes I just do a little bit of planting here, do a little bit of that.
Goat tree, rabbit tree.
I do a little bit of that. And every time I come out, it takes a while. But every time I come out and I see something that I've planted is coming up, and I'm like, oh, this thing has come a bit higher today. And so we start wetting and all that. But I have to wait. After a while, it brings out some fruits. When I have a harvest, the work that I have put into getting that harvest makes me not just to appreciate my own crops, but appreciate what the farmers that produce on a large scale have to go through to, get those farm crops. So next time I go to the market and I want to start pricing things, and I remember
the inputs
of the farmers, I am a bit gentle.
You don't cut it from half.
I don't cut it from half. I'm a bit gentle with just pricing whatever I'm pricing. It's the same thing with getting rich quick, making it quick. If you don't labor for something, you don't appreciate the value of it. And money made easily is spent casually.
Money made easily is spent casually.
It is spent casually. If I know I have to work long hours, sometimes I tell them, as a doctor, my money is blood money.
Wege.
Yes.
Okay.
It's blood money. It's not the blood of others, it is my blood. Because sometimes I have to sleep late, wake up early. I have to, forgo a lot of things. I get blood splattered over me, urine, feces, liquor, odors, all that. You think I'm going to wake up one morning and throw it away? Or I'll go to the bar or just lavish it anyhow when I know what it took me before to make every penny. But if money comes easily, then it goes easily. And you don't appreciate what goes into making that money or getting that resource. If you give a child something he did not work for, he will throw it away without thinking 2 times about it because he does not value the effort that came into getting it. But if you say, what my children went through, I don't want them to go through it. They may not go through the bitter parts of it, but the process,
they should.
Otherwise, they will not turn out the way you turned out. If they go through the process, now I find parents, they will say, you know what, Esha, let's just arrange something. Let's arrange a special center. Just write the exam. They will organize everything for you. So you take that child to a special center. When you get to school, I'll arrange with any lecturer that I can, whether you read or not, they'll pass you. Okay, the child is done. He has the degree. But it's not useful to anybody. It's not useful to himself. He can't build on a degree that he did not work for.
He cannot.
That child did not go through the process. And so when we as parents, we say, oh, I don't want my children to suffer what I suffered. They may not need to suffer the bitter experiences, but the processes makes them to be able to cope the way you can cope, even outside the classroom. When they are faced with challenges, they can face those challenges because they went through the process. I'll give you an example. There was a girl, she came to the clinic one day. She was tired. She said, oh, her roommates, they've been bothering her. They've been bullying her. How old was she? I think she was 16 or 17 or thereabouts, And She almost had a mental breakdown. We had to calm her down, sedate her, and all that. And I found out that, some of these children who had been policed all through life, and that day I made a decision. I won't police my children. Once you are 10, you are going to go to school by yourself. If they bully you in school and you come home to tell me I will beat you first, then you will go back to school and look for a way to sort that out. If you can't sort it out, then I will follow you. But you will go to school yourself. If you give me a problem to solve, sit down. This problem you have given to me, solve it the way you can first. But you want to take the child to school. You want to do the assignments for them. No, don't do the assignments for them. Let them do it, and then you correct the mistake. Not that, write 2 here, write 3 here, write 15 here. No. If it is 2 times 3, count 2. I won't count 2 for you. You to count the 2. Times 3, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. Add it together. That is 2 times 3. Let that child go through the process, and then they would be able to cope with whatever situation they have, whether in school or out of the school. They would have some form of confidence in their own problem-solving abilities without always having to run to mommy, run to daddy, or hide under the umbrella of a stronger friend, classmate, or roommate. They will be able to stand up for themselves. If something is not working, try it again. Keep trying it until you get it right. If something is not working, is there something else that can work better? Then you can try that too.
Well done, Dr. Danny. A very good answer there. Some parents, maybe ignorantly or intentionally, are actually destroying the future of their children by trying to make them miss the process.
Yes.
And there was a school where I had my leaves on about 2 years ago, and there was a girl there who was always failing,
Okay.
And I think she was in civil engineering.
Okay.
No, so not civil engineering, electrical engineering.
Okay.
She was always failing the courses. And now what exactly happened? She now confessed that her mother was planning to retire from Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, IBEDC.
Okay.
So she wanted to leave someone in the organization while she retired.
So she wants to fix
her daughter. So the daughter must go and read electrical engineering.
And that's not what the girl wanted.
The girl had the mind of studying food engineering.
Okay.
She was just feeling the electrical courses just anyhow. Until she was helped to go back after wasting about 3 years to go back to civil engineering. So some parents, please, the process cannot shortchange the process.
You can't shortchange the process.
The process does not have an alternative. They must go through it. Now, let's go by a little bit to the school. Let's talk to those who are about leaving school or those who are already leaving school.
When you get to that final year, there's a mixture of euphoria and fear. Euphoria, I'm finally going to be free. I'm a graduate. I'm on my own. I'm launching out. I'm done.
At the same time? What is
the
outside?
Fear of what is outside.
Hey, no job.
No job. Nobody is going to give you pocket money anymore. That is if you were getting pocket money fully. Nobody is going to send you money for accommodation. You're not going to say, Daddy, I want to buy fee Kemba. Fee is 20,000. Kem is 15,000. And bar is 30,000. Nobody's going to do that anymore. There's a fear of unknown and all that. The first thing I want to advise From school, your life after school starts from school.
Your life outside school starts from school.
Yes.
Wonderful.
What is your circle of influence? The circle of influence that you keep in school is going to impact on how prepared you will be after school. The kind of people you move with. Do you move with people who are thinking or who are sleeping? And when I say sleeping, I'm not saying sleeping physically. They just want to, go through the motions. Or they are planning. So what kind of friends do you keep? What is your circle of influence? Are you moving with people who are thinking, school life is the best? Or you are thinking of people who are saying, once I'm done with school, this and this and this is what I want to do. If you have a friend that is already telling you this is what I want to do and is working towards it, you'll be forced to say, this my friend is already thinking of what he wants to do. What do I want to do? Those people motivate you to ask yourself questions and you look inwards. Okay, if he wants to do this, if she wants to do this, what really do I want to do after school? So they make you think. They open up your mind. They help your intellect to look outwards. So what's your circle of influence? And you never can tell. A lot of friends, colleagues, they have connection in places that you don't even think connections could be. If you are friends to them and you have established a form of relationship, those connections indirectly become your connections too. So who are those that you surround yourself with, number one? Number two, personally, what do you have? What are your interests? You may not have money, but you have interests. Can those interests be harnessed to help you stabilize a bit after school? Let me give you another example. My kids, I got a music teacher for them. Their music teacher did something else in school. He had his first degree in something else, but he knew different musical instruments. So at some point, he started taking music lessons with kids. When he finished school, that was what he fell back on. That was what he started using to stabilize. At some point, he got so engrossed in it, he went back to do a second degree in music. And then he started his own music school. Because he had that skill. You may not have that skill in, maybe making something or something, but you can connect your people who have those skills and manage them. So if you are thinking, as I'm leaving school, I need to look for a job. What if you don't find a job? Or I'm going to use my certificates to look for something. What if your certificate does not get you something that you feel is appropriate for that certificate? Are you going to sit at home? No, you can't sit at home. And then sometimes I found out that a lot of graduates, there's this misconception that once you finish school, you are going to land a high-paying job. They will give you a car to yourself, accommodation, dressing allowance, and you become oga immediately.
In the 70s.
It doesn't work that way. Sometimes you may need to start small. A little paying job, a not so well paying job. I found out that you see those small jobs, those ones are just to keep body and soul together and gain experience.
Very important.
You use that to gain experience. You use it to learn how the job market works. You make a few mistakes here and there. You are not being paid much, but you learn some administrative skill, you learn a little communication skill, you learn a little bit of this, all those small paying jobs. Yes. After that, you combine what you have learned together, and then you launch out for something bigger. By the time you are launching out for something bigger, applying for bigger things, you can fall back on that. You know, the experiences you have gotten from that. You polish yourself. That is if you are looking for a job. Alternatively, you can set out to be your own boss. And I found out that there's something that never fails. Those who render service.
Never.
It never fails. If you don't find any form of work to do, there is always service that is being needed. All you need to do, look into your environment, the kind of service that is needed, and position yourself to be able to render that service. However, a lot of people believe that there's a kind of service that belittles them or is beneath them. They cannot do, you know? And then they say, oh, I can't do this kind of work. Those who are doing it, are they less human beings? They are not less human beings, you know? They are not. So service is another form of being employed, you know? Other things that so many people don't look into right now are different forms of farming. You may not be the one tilling the soil. You may not be the one rearing the birds, but you can market it. You can package it. A lot of people sell packaged foods to the UK, to the US, and they earn in foreign currency. They don't do the farming, but they sell to those places where those things are in demand, or they, you know, join those who are into it already, you know, and you already have an education. You can prepare for opportunities when they come. And when those opportunities come, it will come for those who are ready. While you are doing something, don't give up the other dream you may have. But at the same time, don't put your eggs in one basket. I said something earlier. I talked about the ability to diversify. Your ability to diversify. Your certificate is a launching pad, which helps you to be able to diversify into many different things. So my advice, basically, for fresh graduates, one, your circle of influence is important, the kind of friends that you keep. Who are the kind of people that surround you? Two, what skill do you have? How can you turn that skill into financial profits that will help you stabilize after school? If you don't have one, start learning one before you leave school. Or make plans to acquire one after leaving school. It can be anything. It can be anything. It can be anything. Three, service is always needed. If you don't find anything, position yourself in a way that you can render service. It's not everybody that is going to get a federal government job, state job, or private employment. It's not everybody that is going to be employed. Some people 2, 3, 4 years, they are still carrying their certificates up and down. And lastly, be prayerful. You know, the Bible says the gifts of a man makes way for him. You know, that means that there is also the place of the divinity in making way for each individual. But to do that, your gift is important. If there's nothing in your hand, there's nothing to be blessed.
Wow.
So that's my advice for fresh.
A very good one, that, because really to transit from school life to, which happens to be a dependent life,
yes,
to an independent life outside school, it must be intentional.
Yes.
They must have that mind, I'm leaving school, something is ahead of me.
Yes.
You must intentionally prepare for that transition.
Yeah.
I take a course in my final year, among my final year students here. I always tell them in class, beyond the books that you know, beyond the courses, beyond your grade, know people.
Yeah.
Your true net worth is a network of people around you. If you have them, you are richer than the richest person.
Yeah.
But if you don't have people and say you have money, forget you are poor.
Yeah.
The people will make you. The day I understood this balance in your last show me, I marveled at Yoruba language. In your truly is what it's in your that covers us.
Yeah.
If you lack them, he said a leader is a leader by virtue of his followers. If you are a leader, if you are a leader, you are just taking the through.
You don't have.
You are just taking those. What are you leading? So there must be like that. And very, very important. And that's a very good one there. Please, as you are moving, as you are either prospective graduate or a current graduate, please think of what she has said. Very, very important. Now, another thing I want us to look at in this area, graduate transition, before graduating, you're talking about education is not a scam now. Fine. Yeah. So if you are in the position of, let's say, authority or a think tank, or you are a special senior assistant to somebody who in charge of education, and you're in a position of maybe giving some input into the current curriculum to make it relevant, to make our graduates more relevant outside or more employable. What advice? You know, you're someone who is in medical line, you understand, through a specialist, you are a subsistence farmer, even though you have not exported your crop before, no, but at least
we'll limit it to the house.
So what kind of input do you want to say, okay, why don't we add this into the curriculum?
I think we have made our curriculum too theoretical. The theoretical aspect of it has far outshadowed the practical aspects of it. A lot of our students are theoretical graduates. They are not practical graduates. They are not practical. Sometimes people know a lot of the book part of it, but the application of the book part of it is another issue. So in the curriculum, I think the technical and the practical aspects of it is something that I would wish is upgraded, even from primary school. Sometimes, you know, I look at the way education in other parts are structured, and they talk about nature walk, they talk about field trip. We may not be able to do field trip because we are scared of all sorts.
Insurgency.
You know. But what about the nature walks? What about the outdoor aspects of learning? My son came on one day and he said, oh, they said we should plant beans, you know, or corn. I think it's this dicotyledon and monocotyledon plants they try to teach, you know. And so he planted and allowed water to overflow, and the thing did not grow. At another point, he planted a seed that beavers had eaten. So it didn't grow, but he kept learning from it. And at some point, the thing grew. He said, it's growing. I said, that's the way it used to grow. And then he said, but this one has just 2 leaves. He said, that's the dicotyledon. Hey, this one has 1 leaf. That's the monocotyledon. It's not all schools that do that. I'm aware that, some schools at higher institution level, for those who do maybe agriculture or something, they actually allow them to have farms on the school, and then they use that and they grade and all that. But after that, are there policies that support making some of those things? Practically expanding some of the things that students do. The practical aspects of the curriculum, that's handwork. Other aspects, inter-school exposure. Okay, in our school, this is the way we fabricate leather. This is what our professors, teachers have taught us. Oh, but in my school, we don't fabricate leather this way. This is the way we fabricate leather. Okay, that is in the classroom. Let's go to the local leather fabricators. How do they fabricate leather? And it is going to be part of the curriculum. If you don't go, you don't get marked for that for that course. So I think the practical aspects of our curriculum should really be looked into. And machinery, equipment made available for those things to be practicalized. On one hand. On the other hand, management skills should be incorporated into every course, not just the management sciences. Every individual at one point or the other will have to be a manager. And being a manager is not just because you have a degree in management or a certificate course in management. You have to be able to manage situation. You have to be able to manage people. You have to be able to manage resources. You have to be able to manage time. You have to be able to manage complications when they come. So management at different levels should be incorporated into the curriculum. Those 2 things are things that I personally would wish that our curriculum should be structured into. Whatever course you are doing, the practical aspects of it should be made visible. When I was in school, at that time, we didn't have enough technology to be able to see some of the things that we were doing. And so a lot of people lost interest in the area where I specialized in. By the time I was coming back for my postgraduate specialization, there was technology. So technology cannot be underplayed even in education. How much of technological exposure do our students have? Now the world is going high-tech. Do Nigerian students have exposure to high technology? When they go out, they will meet it. Are they exposed to it? Can they use it? Can they modify it? Can they harness it to be able to apply what they have learned technologically? So technology, the exposure to technology is very important. It's very important for any nation that is willing to grow. So I think those 3 aspects are things that actually should be more integrated into the curriculum.
That's a very good one. That our curriculum, as it is not sufficient to give us very prospective and employable graduates. And as we know, technology is everywhere. It's not limited to technology-related courses. It's everywhere now. AI is everywhere. AI is upon us. We can't witch it away. We rather learn how to key ourselves into the benefits of AI, artificial intelligence. It should be part of what every school has to begin to teach us, right from.
If we don't use it, it will be used against us.
Definitely. You just have to learn it. Yeah. There's a course I learned under AI. They call it deep fake. It's a way of being able to recognize fake videos of, there's a mix up now. Like you can build somebody, you are sitting with me now. Okay. You just put somebody's head here, like somebody else that's actually with you. That's what AI actually can do today. But we need to learn some of those things you have to learn. Our system of education in Nigeria is let me say Africa generally is more of the curriculum centered, not the student centered. If we can make our curriculum student centered, not what we are to teach them, is what they are to learn. Yes. I think it's going a long way into inculcating a culture of learning into our children. What am I expected to teach them? What are they expected to learn rather than what am I to teach? Most of the things we just teach. Let me just finish the concept line. Let me just finish that. But what have they learned anything from it?
Is there a feedback?
That's the thing. There should be
a feedback. Even from the students themselves.
This is what I have learned from this lecturer this semester.
Yes.
It's very, very, very important. Very, very important. So this is the issue of how to add curriculum is something that should be reviewed from time to time. It shouldn't be static.
Yes.
You imagine still teaching about the Cato 3 television in 2025. Imagine still talking about things that have gone past since in this particular age.
No.
Technology is never dormant. So learners should also be up in their game.
Yeah, updated regularly. A regular update, yes.
Of what we know. So at this juncture, I think we have to pause here for today. It's been a wonderful time with my friend and Dr. Adedayo.
Thank you, sir.
ENT specialist. It's been a wonderful time interacting with you. And our viewers outside, I want to hope, believe that you have picked one or two things from our discussions of today. I want to plead that you subscribe, you share and like, so that the next time we drop a video, you'll be first to know about it. Let me hear a closing remark from my guests.
Thank you. I'd like to say thank you for having me. I think I have also benefited from this, and I just hope that by and by we keep navigating the waters in a way that we not only move forward, but also leave something behind for the generations coming behind. So school is not a scam.
It's never a scam.
It's never a scam. It's a bedrock, a foundation that if something studied must be structured on it, then it has to be made to be very solid. So thank you once again for having me, sir.
Thank you, our viewers. We appreciate your attention. See you in our next video. Bye.
Bye.